What's going on, guys? Vesikk here and welcome to a brand new video, and I meant to upload this a long time ago, but this is F1 2018. This video was actually recorded when I first got the game, which was almost day one, so it's just been sitting on my computer. But right now we're going to go through the teams we can choose from. I didn't want to choose the top teams like Mercedes, Ferrari or Red Bull just because it would be a bit boring, so I've gone like last season. I'm going to select, I'm going through them all. I'm really thinking, what should I do? But I want to go pretty much like last season. We didn't get to finish 2017 season. We're going to stay with McLaren for the 2018 season, and we'll be racing as Stoffel van Dorn, so we actually get Fernando Alonso. Oh, actually no, I think we're racing. No, we selected our teammate. Our teammate is Fernando Alonso because I really wanted to just see how I am against Alonso in the same car. And as you've seen from the 2018 season, Stoffel didn't have a great season. He was out-qualified every single race, so let's see how we go for this season in F1 2018. But we're going to just go through a few things. We're doing full qualifying, and as you saw, we set the difficulty to about 95, so it was about the same. At this stage I was still brand new to F1 2018, so I didn't know how the cars would handle compared to the 2017 game, and especially career mode, where the cars, you got to progress them, you got to upgrade them, so they're a lot different to time trial or other aspects of like quick races. But here we are in Melbourne, Australia for F1 2018.
Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media, so be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tyre wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here equals a quicker car, so it's well worth the effort. Good luck this season. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
Okay, well, for starters, I really like the new look of F1 2018. We're just going to let Emma talk, or we're going to talk over it. Basically, I really like the way that it's made the player feel more like the driver. They've made it so it's not just racing, it's not just all of this stuff. They've gone back to the previous games like 2010, where you had the media, you could talk to the media, but it's a lot better than what it was previously. A big upgrade from 2017 as well. It, like, even upgrading the gearbox or upgrading any parts of the car is a lot easier compared to what I thought in 2017. It makes a lot more sense. I still don't understand the recommend upgrade because you press and it just doesn't do anything for you, but here we are, we're just having a look at different things.
I recommend we could go for something like this.
So yeah, in this instance the recommend thing did work, but we're going to put some development into the powertrain, and I think we did it. Yeah, we also did some aero development, so that's pretty much it probably, unless we did chassis. No, I think I was just at this point just going through what different things we had, but so far I really needed the powertrain to be a bit better, aerodynamics a lot better, but yeah, I think that was about it. No, we actually do purchase durability stuff. So that's probably about it for what we're choosing, and we're going to just get straight into I think either practice or qualifying. I'm not sure what I did. It was such a long time ago since I edited this video.
Winning rivalries is a great way to earn respect from your team and around the paddock, which will help make it easier to negotiate favourable contracts. Your first rival is always your teammate.
Great that they have
you
my
can
name
choose
in
who
this
to
game
declare
now.
as your
Like,
second.
I don't have to go by.
The harder the rival from the eligible selection, the more...
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the
But here we are
Australian
in
Grand
practice
Prix
one for
should be
Melbourne
getting
Grand Prix.
underway shortly. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
So the garage still looks a bit same to the 2017 game. I'm just having a look at different things, like just getting a feel of how to navigate the menu quickly. And just to point out, this season I will be using the wheel. Here we are in practice, and I think this was just going a few things up. Power signs 124 is like definitely, it feels nice in this. Settings of the video on my editing setup because the playback is a bit terrible. Here we are going for, I'm not sure if it's qualifying still or practice. It's a bit strange. It feels definitely like it's practice. No, it's Q1 actually. So I don't know what that was, but we're in Q1. And that was, we actually made through to Q2. So here we are. We actually had a fault in the brake system, so we had to sit here for about 6 minutes. And that really hampers and really damages our ability to go out on the track and perform to the best we can. So we are actually in Q3 now. We made it into Q3 and Vettel set a 119.5. We're gonna have to get a lot of time if we want to get close to that, but we're already in the 120s, 121s. We're going to come across the line at about 124, and it is a 124, and that puts us into 8th place. So far McLaren feels good around the Australian circuit, but we'll see how it is in the race.
New cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year with the addition of new safety features, the return of France and Germany in an expanded 21-race calendar, and more tyre compounds than ever before. And of course, we have some big car manufacturers back in the sport too, with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin returning as title sponsors for Sauber and Red Bull respectively. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2018 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 4th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season, it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the relative performance of McLaren and Toro Rosso, who have exchanged power unit suppliers this year. And given the additional restrictions on engine components, they need to be strong in terms of both performance and reliability.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Magnussen, Mitchell, Hülkenberg and Carlos Sainz, Grosjean, Alonso, Brendan Hartley and Sirotkin, Leclerc, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Marcus Ericsson, Ocon and Sergio Perez rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
So just like last season, we're going to increase the fuel load because I do like to burn a lot of fuel while I'm racing, especially in the McLaren McLaren Renault this season. It's going to be a bit hard to keep up with the front runners, so we're going to have to just burn as much fuel as we can. But I'm surprised, I thought I saw Vettel on pole, but I guess he may have had a penalty of some sort, so he's dropped down, but I'm not sure what's happened there. So here we are, formation lap, we're just going to go through it. I think we do skip it, so we're just going to wait for it to go to the end, and here we are for the start. We're going to form back on into our grid spot. The burnouts are pretty cool in this one, but it'd be really nice if we could get to actually control the car in the pit lane or even on the start grid instead of the AI taking over. So here we are in 8th place, waiting for the lights to go out. Here we go with 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go. And it was a very long light sequence, and already I think that is Hülkenberg. Look at that, Hülkenberg is trying to attack us. Hülkenberg gets past us, and that is Sainz up trying to get past us. We're going to go down in deep into that corner. Magnussen on our left, Hülkenberg right behind us. Magnussen he's really just going all over there. We're going to go around the outside. Magnussen, maybe Verstappen. We're getting so close to Verstappen, we have to lock up on the brakes. Ricciardo and Verstappen are going side by side through this corner. Look at that. We get past Magnussen. Is that the job done? Yes, it is. Magnussen and Ricciardo still side by side. And they're just really slowing us down because of this. We can't get around them because they're doing 2 cars wide into that corner, but still side by side, and Ricciardo gets the place done. Verstappen almost pushes us into the wall as we try and go down the inside. Now we get past Verstappen. Ricciardo, are we going to look at a dive bomb? No, we're not. We're not going to dive bomb the man that can dive bomb from like 100 meters away. But we're going to just sit here in 6th place now, just turn down the ERS deployment, put it down to medium to save some ERS, and here we go for the middle sector. The chicane pretty fast through there. We didn't have the best of exits. Ricciardo is starting to slip away. Verstappen is actually starting to catch up to us now. And that looks like 2 cars ahead of Ricciardo going side by side. Yes, it is. That is definitely going to be a Ferrari, or possibly 2 Ferraris. But no, it's a Mercedes and a Ferrari. Raikkonen and possibly Bottas, it looks like. I can't see the name from here. But that is lap 1 of the Australian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel sets the fastest lap, so it looks like Vettel actually gets ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And we're going to go into the pit on lap 3. It's very strange why my team wanted me in the pit this early. I thought other cars were coming in, but apparently not. I'm the only one coming in on lap 3, so the pit strategy is going to be very different at this stage. I was thinking maybe I'm going to have to do another stop, but then I looked at my actual management, and it said that this was going to be the final tyres to the end of the race, so it's still got a long way to go, 11 laps, and I almost forgot where the button was, but to disengage the pit limiter. So we are effectively last at the moment. We're going to have to get a lot of time going to catch up to the rest of the cars. We're going to have to put in a lot of fast laps, but here we are on lap 5, and I think this is when, yes, other cars are in the pits. So let's see what would come out. So that's P19, a few cars coming out of the pits now, P18, and only 2 cars we jumped in that pit stop. Hülkenberg ahead of us on lap 6 now. We're going to possibly dive down. Yes, we're looking at a dive. We locked up the front, so we had to back out of that dive bomb, but we actually caught up to Ricciardo again, and there's more cars coming into the pits. So Ricciardo probably came into the pits a lap after, or 2 laps after, but that's P17, P16, P12, P11, and P10. We're in the points now, and Hülkenberg, someone just ahead of Raikkonen, came out right on the edge of things. They were into that corner side by side, but now we have DRS. Hülkenberg is going on Ricciardo. Look at this, and Ricciardo keeps the position. Hülkenberg is going around the outside, but he can't get the job done. We're just going to sit here and wait, and that looks like it's a Force India maybe ahead of Raikkonen, or a Sauber, but Hülkenberg, we actually lost grip through that corner, so we went almost into the wall. but Vettel sets the fastest lap. We're just sitting in P10 waiting for any possible time to dive down the inside or waiting for Hulkenberg to make a mistake. Verstappen is behind us, and I'm not sure how far Verstappen is away from us. I didn't get to check the time, but lap 7 now. We're coming up to the end of lap 7. Hulkenberg is still ahead, and it looks like more cars into the pits on this lap, so pit stop strategies are a bit strange at the moment for this first race. Everyone's all over the place. Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap. We have DRS, and we're going to get a few more positions on the people in the pit lane. Verstappen is having to go at us. That's Leclerc coming out of the pit lane. Verstappen side by side into the first corner. Verstappen gets the job done. We're going around the outside. We have the inside line now, and Verstappen's still there. We have DRS. He has DRS. This is going to be a very fast. It's going to be braking. Yes, Verstappen gets the job done. He gets later on the brakes. I didn't want to risk it. I knew Verstappen he had the faster car. He was going to overtake no matter what. So I just decided to back out of it, let him pass, and just follow him, because I feel like I'm a lot faster when I can follow another car ahead of me. I can see where they're braking late, where they're not going as fast in corners, and then I can just adjust my drivability to that, or adjust my driving style to that. So Magnussen gets past us because of DRS. We're going to sit on the back of Magnussen's slipstream. He'll have DRS again, and Leclerc is behind us now. So Leclerc will have DRS on us, and he won't be able to get the job done just yet. Magnussen just ahead of us, and that is Verstappen ahead of him. Lap 11, halfway through, Leclerc gets past us. So I think at this stage my tyres were starting to go. I'm one of the cars with the oldest tyres at the moment, so we're going to have DRS on Leclerc. Leclerc will have DRS on Magnussen, and couldn't do much. Leclerc actually made a mistake. I was so surprised when I actually saw that AI make a mistake like that. But Leclerc now, he's behind us. Bottas, I don't know what happened to Bottas, but now he's only in 9th. He started off well ahead of us. We'll have DRS on Bottas. Bottas will have DRS. So it's going to be a bit of a fight down into this corner. Who's going to brake late? Bottas has the inside line. We're going to have to go around the outside. We can't get the job done just yet. Lap 14 now, the end of it. Bottas is starting to make a bit of a gain on the car ahead, and he's making a bit of a distance from us, and Leclerc will be all over us. So this is the final lap. At this stage, my tyres are really gone. There's no way I'm going to catch up to Bottas. I'm just going to have to defend from Leclerc now. We're going to have to keep these points if we want. If we want this position, we're going to have to keep these points. I actually don't know what I'm trying to say now. Leclerc is behind us, and someone is right behind Leclerc. So still, I think the top 10 to about P5 are pretty close in terms of where they are on track and pace, where no one's exactly getting ahead of anyone just yet. Leclerc is 1 second behind us, so he's out of DRS range, and we're out of DRS range on Bottas. Here we are, coming up to the middle sector now, and Bottas, he's getting the better exits and the better entries into the corners. We're just struggling to slow down or even take corners, and you'll see here, yeah, that was a bit of a corner cut, but Vettel is the race winner, and Leclerc is starting to back off, so I think this is pretty safe. We're actually running pretty close to the fuel limit. As you can see, the flashing red light for the fuel indicator, so we're getting very close to how much fuel we can burn, and at this stage I knew it was only 2 corners left, so may as well burn as much fuel as possible. But Bottas will have the position in front of us, and at this stage it looks like Leclerc unlucky for Stroll, final lap, and he's out of the race, but that is P10 for us unless anyone has penalties.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So Ferrari got P1 and P3, so they're going to be ahead of the constructors, and Vettel will be the drivers' champion, or in the lead of the drivers' championship at the moment. Lewis Hamilton gets second, and I think Bottas may have got Bottas ninth, and probably Ricciardo fourth at this stage. I'm not sure what happened. So Ricciardo fourth, Verstappen fifth, Grosjean sixth, Hulkenberg seventh. But there we go. I'm looking for my teammate, and he's down in 13th, so I'm not sure what happened to Stroll. He just DNF'd, but that is points for us in our first race, so that's good for McLaren. We actually have points, and we'll just have to see how it is for next season, but for next race. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I'm sorry that it's a bit rushed in my commentary, but I just want to get this video out for you guys. But I'll see you next time for the next race, which is I think Bahrain.